Okay, it's recording.
Okay, hi, I'm Christian, and we have Daniela, Elisa, and Ramona. Well, let's see. We're going to talk about ChatGPT and how it integrates with AI. AI auditing in the process used to evaluate and monitor AI systems to ensure that they meet ethical, legal, and technological standards. It involves a diverse experts in often time-consuming but critical for addressing specific ethical challenge in the real world. Some of the key points we're each going to talk about really fast.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the first key point, which is AI auditing frameworks, ethics and expertise. AI auditing requires collaboration from experts across various fields. This is beneficial for addressing ethical concerns, but is also time-consuming and requires high-level expertise. Um, AI auditing in action. While the application of AI auditing has been studied, there are a few established procedures and most work is conceptual.
The second point is continuous auditing of AI system. Continuously auditing is proposed as a promising approach where AI systems are audited in real time or nearly real time. This contrasts with the traditional auditing that happens at discrete intervals. The idea is to allow for ongoing oversight, especially for autonomous AI systems that learn and adapt over time. Implications of risk management, continuously auditing of AI helps manage the risks posed by AI systems that operate autonomously or evolve as they interact with dynamic environments.
So the third key point is self-synchronization of ethical principles. Various ethical principles are applied in AI auditing, but these can differ between organizations. Light and Penny argue that some self-synchronization is happening where independent audits help align different ethical approaches without imposing one unified view. The second bullet point is building trust. Regular, transparent audits help establish trust between technology providers, users, and society. This transparency contributes to maintaining an infrastructure of trust.
And the last key point is sector-specific AI auditing. The article explores sector-specific challenges, like in the railway industry, where AI's opacity complicates the auditing of safety and functionality. The next bullet point is testing versus analysis. Instead of analytically verifying AI capabilities, the focus on auditing is the design and deployment processes of AI systems. This approach complies with the EU regulations and industry standards for safety.
Okay, so now it's my turn. I'm gonna be going over the three prompts that I asked ChatGPT. My three questions were, how does AI auditing compare to traditional financial auditing? Why is AI auditing relevant to internal auditors? And how do we ensure accountability when we don't fully understand how AI makes decisions? So for the first question, how is AI auditing different from traditional auditing? ChatGPT told me that traditional financial auditing focuses on reviewing financial statements, verifying transactions, and testing internal controls to detect errors, fraud, or misstatements. AI auditing, on the other hand, involves examining how AI systems operate. Um, Instead of focusing on ledgers, we look at how data is collected, how models are trained and tested, and what outcomes the AI is producing. And how do they overlap? Well, both require evidence gathering, risk assessment, and professional skepticism. Both deal with internal controls, just applied to different processes, finance versus algorithms. And what is the key difference? Traditional auditing is grounded in rules we understand, while AI auditing often involves complex models we can't fully interpret, like deep learning. This means we need new tools and approaches to evaluate fairness, bias, and accountability in AI systems. My second question was, why do internal auditors need to know about AI auditing? And ChatGPT told me that internal auditors are guardians of accountability inside the organization. As companies start relying on AI for hiring, pricing, credit scoring, or fraud detection, it becomes our job to ask critical questions. Are these systems making fair decisions? Who's responsible for monitoring them? Are we at risk of unintentionally discriminating against certain groups? And AI introduces new kinds of risk, bias in training data, lack of explainability, drift in model performance over time. And internal auditors can help bridge the gap between the tech team and leadership. We don't have to be data scientists, but we need to understand how to evaluate risk in automated systems. And finally, my last question was, how do we ensure accountability if we can't fully understand AI decisions? And this is one of the biggest ethical challenges in AI. Many models are black boxes. Even the developers may not know exactly how they arrive at their conclusions. So how do we hold these systems accountable? Um, the first point is documentation. Every step of model development should be recorded from data selection to testing models. Governance. Companies should have clear roles: who owns the AI system, who reviews it. Explainability tools. These are methods to break down what the model is doing, even if it's complex. And finally, human oversight. AI should support decisions, not replace human judgment entirely, especially in high stakes areas like hiring, credit, and medical diagnosis. And that's a wrap for my section.
Thank you. I'm Christian, and so for my three prompts, my first one was, what skills will future accounting and auditing careers need to work with AI? ChatGPT came back with a lot of great information, and some of the points that it made out was that future accounting and auditing professionals need to blend a lot of traditional financial expertise and new age digital skills. Some of those include technical and analytical skills, data analytics, the ability to interpret and audit big database for patterns, errors, and frauds, AI and machine learning fundamentals, understand how algorithms work and what risks they propose, programming literacy, and not just coding, basic knowledge for SQL, R, for understanding system logistics and output, system auditing tools, familiarity with tools like Tableau, Power BI, or audit-specific AI tools. Other things include legal and ethical knowledge, AI ethics, understanding the principles and fairness, transparency, bias detection, and accountability. We need to understand regulatory compliance, stay updated on laws, and digital risk management, know how to assess and risks tied to AI systems. Critical thinking and professional skepticism. AI decisions may appear intelligent, but still require human judgment. You can't just base everything off of what the computer's telling you. Ability to question black box models, challenge algorithmic outputs, governance and internal controls expertise, understanding how to design, test, and evaluate controls around AI processes, the ability to process system access, change management, audit trails, all AI-based systems. Interpersonal communication skills, collaboration with tech teams, build the gaps between accounting, compliance, and data science. Writing and storytelling, explaining complex AI system or risk clearly for non-technical stakeholders and executives. Let's see. Continuous learning mindset. AI and digital technologies evolve fast. Accountants will need to embrace lifelong learning to stay relevant. Think micro credentials, certifications, hands-on projects. Recommended certifications that it suggested was certified information systems auditor, certified in risk information systems, data analytics, ethical AI certifications are all great things that we could have as we continue into this new age of technological advances. My next one was compare the differences between technologically oriented audits and process audited oriented audits. A lot of them talked about the future. Um, let's see, the focus on AI itself was a big one. Um, there's a whole list here. So, um, how they complement each other. Technological oriented audits spot on what's wrong with the AI system. Process oriented audits explain how and why those problems occurred. Effective AI governance needs a blend of both for meaningful insights. My third prompt was, is AI taking over careers? I mean, that's the biggest question that we all really have. In the short answer, it says no. I mean, it's transforming them for sure, and we need to stay up to date on how to keep up with them, but it can no way compete with what humans can apply to all these things. AI is incredibly good at automating routine tasks and audits, analyzing massive data sets quickly, flagging unusual patterns or risks that are more precision, speeding up audit procedures like simple selection or contrast review. These tools enhance efficiency and reduce manual workload, but they still need human oversight. AI cannot replace professional judgment, ethical decision making, interpreting complex business contexts, interviewing clients, or understanding organizational culture, making final audit opinions, or signing off on reports. AI lacks the accountability, emotional intelligence, and legal responsibility of all of which are critical in audit professions. AI is shifting the auditors' roles from data gatherers to analysts, manual testers to risk advisors, rule followers to strategic thinkers. This opens the door for many new career paths like AI system auditors, digital risk analysts, data-driven or internal auditors, ethic and compliance officers for AI governments. Overall, AI won't be taking over auditing jobs, but for someone who knows how to use AI right, auditors embrace technology built data, governance skills, and understanding AI risks will be more in demand than ever. Good.
Hello, it's Rufina. So my first prompt that I asked ChatGPT was, what does auditing AI systems involve? And how is it different from traditional financial audits? ChatGPT said, auditing AI systems is quite different from traditional financial audits, though both aim to assess systems for accuracy, compliance, and reliability. Here's a breakdown of what AI auditing involves and how it diverges from financial auditing. And then I went down to say what AI auditing systems involved. One, it's fairness and bias checks. Two, explainability and transparency. Three, data and model governance. Four, security and robustness. Five, performance validation. Six, regulatory compliance. Seven, documentation and traceability. So what I got from that was AI auditing systems is very different from traditional financial audits. While financial audits focus on checking numbers, transactions, and ensuring financial reports are accurate using established standards like GAAP or IFRS, AI audits focuses on how AI systems behave. This includes checking for bias, fairness, and transparency, making sure the systems don't unfairly treat people based on things like, discrimination or anything. And and that decisions can be explained and understood. Auditors also look at where the AI data comes from, whether it's secure, and if the model performs well over time. Since AI, systems auditing can change and update frequently, they need continuous monitoring, unlike financial systems that tend to be more stable. In short, financial audits are about numbers and rules, while AI audits are about ethics, behavior, and risk. So yeah, short, AI auditing is more about behavioral ethics and continuous risk, and financial audits are about verifying the numbers and records are correct according to fixed standards. So my second prompt was, in what ways could financial professionals be held accountable for errors, biases introduced by AI systems they use or audit? This is what ChatGPT said. That's a sharp and timely question. AI is increasingly woven into financial systems. And with that comes new layers of accountability and risk. For professionals, here's how financial professionals might be held accountable for errors or biases introduced by AI systems they interact with or oversee. The first one it mentioned was the legal and regulatory accountability, negligence, and compliance breaches. The second one was professional and ethical standards. The third one was accountability via documentation and audit trails. The fourth was skills gaps at a risk. The fifth one was organizational and shared responsibility. And the takeaway was, to protect themselves, financial professionals should vet and validate AI systems before use, document decisions involving AI outputs, continuously monitoring AI system performance, stay up to date on involving legal and ethical standards related to AI. So my third prompt was, how can traditional auditing frameworks be adapted to include the auditing of AI tools used in financial decision making, such as fraud detection systems or risk scoring algorithms? ChatGPT said this is a key question as AI becomes more embedded in financial workflows. Traditional auditing frameworks like GAS, Generally Accepted Auditing Standards, ISA, international standards on auditing, and frameworks used for internal controls like COSO weren't built with AI in mind, but they can evolve to handle the complexity of AI systems. Here's how these frameworks can be adapted to audit AI tools used in financial decision making, such as fraud detection or risk scoring systems. One, expand the definition of control to include AI logic. Two, integrate model risk management into audit planning. Three, include AI-specific audit procedures. Four, enhance documentation requirements. Five, embed AI governance into internal control evaluations. Six, cross-functional audit teams. Seven was to update risk assessment protocols. So from what I got from my three prompts was, auditing isn't going away. It's evolving at the end of the day. We're not throwing away like what we already know. We're just adding, new tools and new ways of thinking to keep up with technology that's changing how like finance works, basically. So as artificial intelligence becomes more common in the financial world, it's important to understand how financial professionals like accountants and auditors can still be held accountable for errors or be biased with the AI systems they use. These systems seem to be very powerful, but they're not perfect at the end of the day. If something goes wrong, professionals can just blame the technology. They need to show they used it responsibly, though, at the end of the day. And there's like also the matter of professional ethics. Financial professionals are expected to act with integrity and competence. If they use AI tools without really understanding how it works or rely on it blindly without like double checking the results, that could be seen as unethical or even irresponsible. For instance, if auditors accept everything in AI to report without verifying anything, they're not fulfilling their duty to provide professional assurance. Then there's issues of skills. While financial professionals don't need to be AI experts, they do need a basic understanding of the tools they're using. If someone's using a system without understanding its limitation or risk and doesn't get help from someone who does, it could be seen as poor judgments. Yeah, that was like my key takeaways that I got from my 3 prompts today.
Thank you. And I will wrap up the video. My name's Lisa, and I will start with my first prompt. The first one is very simple. How is the article auditing of AI legal, ethical, and technical approaches document relevant to accounting or careers? I asked this question because as accounting students, it would be interesting to get ChatGPT's response on this. And ChatGPT replied or responded with a couple of different bullet points, 5 main bullet points. The first one was the parallel between AI auditing and financial auditing. The paper draws direct analogies between financial audits, which is obviously a core function that we learn as a student, and um, the analogy between financial audits and AI audits. It emphasizes how traditional accounting frameworks can inform AI auditing. It shows that professionals with expertise can be adapted to auditing AI systems, especially as these systems become increase smarter and are able to handle financial and operational data within a firm. So it's important uh, to have someone with that knowledge to work with AI in their career in their firm. The next bullet point that the ChatGPT drew from the article was that it is an emerging career path, AI and tech auditing, just like my colleague was talking about that, we're worried that maybe AI will take over our careers. No, actually, on the other hand, accounting professionals are well positioned to move into these auditing roles, especially from firms that are offer these type of uh, services, risk management, compliance checks, internal controls, and corporate governance. These type of services that are offered will open doors to new roles, again, which means a better career path for auditors. And the new roles are AI systems auditor, ethics and compliance officer, technology and risk assessor. All of these seem like the description is the oversight of the AI itself and possibly uh, some legal fields that would tie in with using AI in the workforce. The third bullet point that ChatGPT drew was alignment with corporate governance, and internal controls. So the document ties AI auditing to governance frameworks similar to how accounting ties into corporate internal controls and regulatory compliance, such as SOX. It also mentions the three lines of defense model commonly used in enterprise risk management. The next bullet point that ChatGPT returned for my question is accounting firms are expanding into AI auditing. Traditional accounting firms, especially big four, public companies that us as students might be interested in moving into working for as we graduate, they are moving into this AI auditing field, and they're using their know-how and strong market positions to expand horizontally by offering other auditing service, including AI auditing. This implies that accounting professionals can transition into consulting roles tied into AI ethics, system integrity, and digital risk. Um, so again, more expansion, more career paths for future accountants or auditors. The last bullet point is that GPT came up with was ethical and legal compliance, a familiar terrain. Ethics and compliance are a big part of accounting education, as I'm learning through all these classes. And also as you get your CPA licensing. The AI auditing space similarly demands one, understanding of legal frameworks, ethics-based assessments, and accountability practices. Accountants with interest in tech law, privacy, and digital ethics can contribute significantly here. So in short, this ChatGPT said the document illustrates how skills and the mindset of accounting professionals are in demand for auditing AI systems. It highlights the shift of traditional accounting and how it intersects with emerging digital technologies, creating hybrid career paths. The second prompt that I asked was, which I believe is for me is a big one, is how do accounting and auditing firms maintain ethical integrity using AI? Um, and the ChatGPT brought up a couple of points, actually seven of them, a lot of them. But in summary, accounting and auditing firms maintain ethical integrity while using AI through a combination of safeguards, governance practices, and adherence to professional standards like GAAP or other standards that we use. Here's a detailed look of how to achieve them. I will just summarize a couple of these. One of them is transparency and explainability. Firms can prioritize the use of AI to um, make sure that it can be understood by humans. AI's, machine. And so as we use AI, we need to learn how to use the system and understand, have teach others how to use it as well, which is critical to maintain trust and accountability in firms and in financial reporting. It also can create paths, traceable paths for auditors to review and verify outputs, again, increasing the transparency within the firm. as we use this AI for auditing. Um, Another bullet point was bias mitigation and fairness. The bias audits are regular checks performed to detect and also correct these biases, especially in data sets, as we've learned in our class that sometimes data sets can have irregularities or incorrect information, and AI can be used to help us humans catch these flaws in data sets, and it increases our assessments and our evaluations. Again, furthermore, I guess it corrects these biases, but it also has been trained on a wide range of clients. AI uh, been trained on different industries and different scenarios, so it will be able to provide all these different outputs for auditors to help them ensure the best assurance to their customers and um, another way to help keep that ethical compliance. Uh, the next bullet point is the third one is data privacy and security. It, Firms actually are able to encrypt storage and have strict controls to protect sensitive client data, including financial data used by the AI systems, and that's another way that we can you keep our integrity within as we use AI. Also, there is regulatory compliance to that we align it with um, GAP or any other firms that to keep that ensure that we keep that ethical handling of the data of not just clients, but also personal data that we might use. Um, Another bullet point is human oversight and accountability. This one is interesting. It brought up a bullet point called human in the loop. AI systems are designed to assist professionals, not replace them. Critical decisions still require human judgment and authorization. Ethical review boards. Some firms have internal ethics committees or technology governance boards to oversee this implementation of AI and align it with its business model and professional values. Um, Next is adherence to professional standards. Again, IFAC and IAASB guidance. It's a way to help us keep that integrity as we use AI. Ethics codes, the IESBA Code of Ethics, and local accounting body rules will guide the integration of AI in the firm. Next, continuous training and ethical culture, staff training. Again, like it was mentioned earlier, as we learn to use this AI in our uh, careers, we need to train staff, new hires, uh, current hires, anyone who is in the firm needs to learn how to use these tools and also know the risks and limitations that AI is restricted to. Culture of integrity. Leadership should perform a culture of how they use AI as a tool to enhance making, but not use it and abuse it. Last point is external auditing and AI assurance. Third party assessments. Some firms engage external auditors or independent reviewers to assess the fairness, accuracy, and ethical use of AI systems. Next is algorithmic, oh my gosh, assurance. Similar to financial audits, firms are starting to apply assurance practices to AI systems themselves, checking for compliance with ethical and regulatory standards. And as I move on, this will be my last prompt, is the third one. And I wrote, as an accounting student, what are some of the strengths and weaknesses of using AI in the auditing field that I should be aware of? Um, and ChatGPT replied, that's a great question. You should understand both the strengths and weaknesses to give you a balanced perspective, especially as firms are relying on this technology. So here are some strengths. Number one is efficiency and speed. And, I think we can all agree that that is the one of the main strengths of using ChatGPT, and it will free up time for auditors to be able to focus on more different tasks, especially like using your judgments, like risk assessment and client advisory. Another strength is improved accuracy. AI reduces human error and it can detect anomalies or irregularities that might be overlooked by humans. I mean, humans are not perfect, and AI is definitely a tool to help us enhance our work, especially as mentioned earlier with data sets that may have some sort of error, and AI can be trained to look at these issues. And third point is third strength, sorry, continuous auditing. With real-time data analysis, AI enables continuous auditing where issues can be flagged as they occur in real time rather than after the fact. And it helps, again, increase our speed and helps humans to be able to focus on other, it raises a flag for humans to be able to look at this issue that comes up as it happens in real time. Number four is pattern recognition and fraud detection. And policy violations, any potential fraud or errors, AI can be used to spot these items. Number five is data-driven decision making. It again enhances. I feel like this is the main point that AI has been bringing up. It enhances the professional judgment and very important, it doesn't just validate financial records, but it evaluates trends and risk proactively. So, very important that it just doesn't validate the information. And last strength is scalability. AI systems are able to scale across very complex multinational audits and it's be able to adapt to these formats and accounting standards as it moves through the audits. Now, here's the weaknesses and limitations, which I was more interested in. One, most important, is lack of human judgment. Sure, it can analyze data, it can flag these trends, it can um, speed up our processes, but it doesn't understand context or even intentions the way that a human can. So anything that's ethical judgments or any reasoning that, but as you audit a firm, is where we humans will be required and why the career is not going to be diminished by using AI. There's also bias, and we already went into that earlier. The lack of transparency, it can be very difficult to explain, especially to clients. And so, if an auditor can't justify how AI reached to a conclusion from point A to point B, then it undermines the credibility of an auditor, and the client trust also can be broken. Again, as an auditor, you're talking to your clients, and if you can't get from point A to point B in a straight line, then it it doesn't help. AI is not helping us. Data privacy and security risk is another big issue with using AI, especially with cybersecurity breaches that could happen, especially using your clients' sensitive financial data. It's important to have these blocks as AI is being used more, and regulatory ethical concerns. The standards are still evolving to keep up with AI. AI is moving pretty fast, and the standards need to catch up with that. And the gray areas, the accountability um, between auditors and the AI. Sometimes, it's gray, so we need to be able to use our judgments in that area. And lastly, high implementation costs. Not all firms, especially small firms, can afford the AI tools or even the infrastructure to support them. Um, Again, as there's security risks, a company has to figure out how to build an AI tool that can be used internally, not just using ChatGPT. There's a lot of cost between that, and so smaller firms might not be able to keep up with that um, cybersecurity risk, and or even how to integrate it within their systems, which is again like the bridge that we've been talking about, how to explain the AI to a human and how to get that. And so that's another issue with using AI. So yes, from what from my prompts, AI is very powerful and it's a very good tool. And it's more of you know, yes, it's a tool that we should keep in our toolbox, but it's not a replacement. It's there to do a lot of the heavy lifting of data and tasks that sometimes is too much for humans. And it's great because as humans, we're able to provide that judgment and sometimes say, okay, well, AI is telling me this, but it's not really ethically responsible, or it's not, there's something wrong. And so yes, it's a tool, but not the everything that we can look and turns to. Also there are insights, and our human brain, our thoughts. Technology can't replicate that, and it can't replace that. So AI is powerful, but it has the strengths and drawbacks that we need to um, be able to be aware of. And I believe this concludes our video.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.